Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S21 and compare it against the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus and see which particular phone is the better one for you. Now, I will definitely tell you, if you have all the money in the world, definitely go for something like the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus. This is going to be a significantly better phone in a majority of different ways. And I love this phone a lot, and this is the one that I'd recommend the average person to go ahead and buy if you have all the money. But I think the Galaxy S21 is still a very, very good phone that I'd recommend a lot of people to buy as well. So keep that in mind. There's not really a wrong choice here. If you want to pick up either the Samsung Galaxy S21, S21 Plus, or some other phones I'd recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the same exact time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular phones, on the front of the Samsung Galaxy S21, you're getting a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED display. And this was a very, very good device with a decent panel at that moment. Now, this panel was low resolution than its predecessor, but it was still a good looking panel nonetheless. You were getting a dynamic AMOLED display, 120Hz, and Full HD. This was some really, really good stuff to have inside of this device. And I do think if I'm going to go through and purchase a particular phone, this one had a really good panel. It could easily fit in the palm of your hand for the most part, and it was a good looking device that it was something that I actually liked a lot from this particular device at that moment. Definitely not the most best looking phone of that year. You had the Galaxy S21 Ultra, which was significantly better, but still a very good phone nonetheless. On the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus, this is basically a bigger version of this particular device. So for this one, you're getting a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display. So for this particular phone, you're basically getting a bigger size panel, which was very, very nice to have. And I do think that was very, very cool. On top of that, you're getting a phone that basically stood the test of time for a long period of time, which was very, very nice. And it's 1080p, 120Hz. Again, not much to complain about here, but it was a better looking panel overall than the S21. On the bottom, you're getting USB Type-C ports on the bottom of both these phones, which again was very nice. I love having USB-C, and that in and of itself was another very cool thing going on here. And you were also still maintaining a lot of other things across this phone too, which still look very good. But on the back side, this was a very interesting thing. So you were basically getting triple camera setups on the back of both of them. We'll get into the differences in a second, but you were getting a frosted plastic back on the back of the Samsung Galaxy S21, or on the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus, you were getting a frosted glass back. So this in and of itself was another very interesting difference that we were getting here. And the fact that you were basically maintaining a little bit of a different styling was very insane, because for the most part, you would not actually expect, Samsung to go and put a frosted plastic back inside of the device, but they ended up doing that here, which again was very weird. I have no idea why they ended up doing something like this, which again was a very, very weird thing that ended up happening. But beyond that, not the biggest deal in the world. I think both these phones still look very, very good. You're still maintaining things like wireless charging, reverse wireless charging in them, and overall they're still very good looking phones. Is there one that's like the best one of all time? The Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus is definitely a better phone overall, I would say, on the outside than the Galaxy S21, but it is a bigger phone, and that's kind of one big thing to keep in mind here when you're getting a device like that. So take to that as you will, but that's kind of one thing to keep in mind with both these particular devices when it comes down to that side. Pricing wise, the S21 Plus you can buy in the used market for about $250-ish. The Samsung Galaxy S21 you can buy for $181 on Amazon. So that right there is like another big thing to kind of keep in mind here too. Like if you're going through and wanting the better phone, there could be some chances where a phone like the Samsung Galaxy S21 could be a substantially better and cheaper phone for some people than the Galaxy S21 Plus from a price tag standpoint, because it is overall the cheaper phone when it comes down to it. So once again, kind of keep that in mind. Not the biggest deal in the world, but just one minor thing to kind of keep in mind there as well. Now on top of that, when it comes down to the camera side, these cameras are very, very similar. So you're basically getting a triple camera setup inside of both these devices. So this is not a big difference here at all, and you're basically getting, like I said before, very, very similar type of experiences. So you're getting a 12 megapixel wide-angle lens on both, 64 megapixel telephoto lens, and then a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera as well. And then you're also getting 10 megapixel wide-angle cameras on the front. Basically the same exact type of camera. You are not getting like big differences here, and they are very much the same. So if you're getting one phone over the other one, you are not getting big differences here, like I mentioned, and they are very much almost the same exact camera. But with that being said, these cameras are very, very nice, and I love these sensors a lot for them. So, the Samsung Galaxy S21 and the S20 Plus, you're basically getting these very, very nice cameras with 8K capability on the backside, and they're just some of the best looking devices that you can basically buy. And I really do love the way that these particular devices look and how they hold up basically so well. Now, inside of social media applications, it might be a little bit of a tiny different story, but I will still say for the most part, if you're going through and getting a phone, you cannot go wrong with either one of these. And I do think for the most part, Samsung did an excellent job with these two sensors, and they are very good phones. They still look great. They still perform very, very well. And them, without a doubt, they're very good cameras that still, do very well for the most part. So from that side alone, the cameras get a thumbs up for me without a doubt. But if you want the better one, go for the S21 Ultra, but these are very good sensors when it comes down to it. From the software side, this is one thing that's kind of like hit or miss depending on how you're looking at it. So they're both upgradable to Android 14, which is great. The only downside is the Samsung Galaxy S21 and the S21 Plus are not going to be getting like the next couple versions of Android. So if you're somebody who wanted to go and get the next version of Android, you're not really going to be getting that on both these particular devices, which is kind of sad. So it's kind of one of those situations where if you want to go and get a device, you're going to have to kind of look at something like the Samsung Galaxy S23 or above or S22 or above to get the next couple versions of software. If you're trying to get a phone that's going to be giving you the version of software right now, that is probably going to be kind of an issue because you're not really going to be getting that on this type of device. It's kind of sad, but I will tell you for the most part, these are very, very good phones, and you're going to be getting very good devices when it comes down to it as well. But the software just really isn't there, and you're going to be getting substantially better software inside of these other devices rather than this one. So keep that in mind there, for this particular device too. It's not the end of the world or anything, but it's one of those minor things to keep in mind. From the performance side, both these phones are very similar here as well. They're both going to be giving you the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 chipset inside with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So once again, there's not really these big massive differences here for the most part. And if you're going to go through and get either one of these devices, like I said before, they're going to be fairly limited because they're both going to be giving you the same type of experience for the most part. So, if one phone is not going to be giving you that great of a performance, the other one isn't really going to be giving you that great of a performance either. So this is one of those sad things because I do feel like for the most part, if you're going through and buying one of these phones or the other ones, it's just not going to be giving you insanely massive experiences for the most part because the performance is, the same, but the performance is very good. I'll be completely honest, you're going to be getting very good performing devices from both of these, which is very, very nice. And that is something I like a lot for how old these phones are. It's fairly decent and it's fairly, performance heavy, which again is super, super cool. So I think this in and of itself is another really nice thing. So if you're wanting to get the phone that is going to be giving you maybe a better experience, I do think, although neither one of these are different, they're still very good performing devices for the most part. And I do think that's a very cool thing going on for these two devices when it comes down to it. So to kind of sum it up, what I'll definitely tell you is I definitely do like both these phones. I think both these phones are very good, and there isn't really a lot to complain about here for the most part, and I do think, for the most part, Samsung did a really good job with both of them. I think the main advantages, if you're going to pick one, is something like the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus. This phone is going to be bigger, it's going to be giving you a better experience, and these are the devices that I look at as probably being the significantly better one for the most part that I recommend the average person to go and buy. But I would still tell you for the most part, if you're going through and buying any sort of device out there, you're probably going to be getting a better, easier phone to kind of handle on the Samsung Galaxy S21 just because it is smaller, and it kind of makes more sense to go and buy something like that over the S21 Plus. So keep that in mind, but that's kind of how I see this phone kind of holding up, or both these phones holding up in 2024. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.